Welcome to the install tutorial for my 9130 Scout scope base. Just let me take this apart. We'll get started. For this install, you will need a punch set, number 2 Phillips screwdriver, hammer, not necessary but nice to have, good player pliers, of course the hex key that comes with the hardware. Gotta knock this pin here out. Once you get it most of the way out, like so, grab some pliers. Go. Second off. Leaf spring off. Spring. Step 2, so taking this off, so we have just the sight Scout scope base. And we're gonna sit this, inside here. The tail right here goes where the rear side of the leaf spring went. So it goes down, there's this little slot under here. Something to take notice of is this little area here. If you look in your side base right here, there's like there's a lower part in the front here, and then it comes up. It's kind of difficult to see. There it is, right there. So you're going to want to put this in and move it forward and backwards until this is pushing up against this. So put it on. You don't just put it down. You got to wiggle it back and forth like that. All right, next step, you're going to take your stock protector. You notice there's a little hole on the top. That is where the set screw will be sitting. For now, we just need to kind of get it under here and just have it sitting there for now. Next step, screw in your M3 machine screw. Use a number 2 Phillips head if it gets tough. Next step is your thumb screw. It depends on what kind of scope rings you have. Sometimes if you want to put a scope ring in the very first slot right here, the bottom of the pick rail section might hit this. If it does, this is just an M3 screw, so you'll have to find an M3 nut, maybe something really tiny. Thumb screw is just a lot easier to install, and it has a lot more surface area to grab. So that's why I use it, but if you find this gets in your way, I just pick up an M3 nut of some sort. Next, you're going to take the smallest set screw, the 4mm one. These are all M6 set screws, in case you ever need to replace them. But your front one is 4mm. Remember what I said about the set screw sitting in the circle, so we're going to see if I can get a closer shot of it. At the edges of that circle right there. So you want to see where this actually has to sit. And then we're going to tighten out a set screw. You should be putting Loctite on all of these set screws. I'm not doing it because I will be taking this off when I'm done. Just because I like to use the Mosin itself as sort of like a tool for measurements. It's my guinea pig, so I don't necessarily run this stuff on it all the time. Now, when you're tightening these set screws, you'll notice the front here and rear here will actually move up and down a little bit. It's not these metal sections bending. What it is the tail, the leaf spring part isn't, because everyone's Mosin's different, I can't make the tolerances too exact, I guess, like my SKS ones. So the tail here is a little thinner to ensure that it'll fit in everybody's Mosin. So because of that, it has a little wiggle room up and down. Once we get all these set screws installed, you won't notice it on your scope. That's one of the install steps we need to take care of. So if you install it and you notice it's kind of, this side's up a little bit and this side's also up a little bit, it's not the end of the world. We just want to make sure it's solid. The next step will be the 6mm. I also provide an 8mm set screw in case you need this to go higher than, normal. The 6 should be fine, but if you need something with a little more pressure, I suppose, you can use the 6. Like I said, you can notice it going up and down. It's just the entire backside of this sight base lifting because of the tail, not 100% snug. Push on this, make sure it doesn't move much. Push on this, make sure it doesn't move much. Now when you put your scope on, you have extra distance forward and back, meaning when you push down on the front, it will actually lift up on here because you have extra leverage. Kind of like you're trying to take off a really stubborn lug nut on your car. What do? You just get extra leverage on your socket and you can pull it out pretty easy. It's kind of the same idea. I'm just gonna, doesn't matter where to put these right now. I'm gonna just put it in. I'm just gonna finger tighten the Picatinny screws, Picatinny sides over here, just so that it's secure. Now what I want you to do is look down your scope and clamp it here, like pinch right here on the front. You'll notice, I'm not sure if I might have made it tight enough already, but let's see. Yeah, I see it moves like very, very slightly. This side won't, because you have a set screw pushing against this hard piece of steel. On this side, we have an aluminum protector, and it's quite good, but there's still, you got wood underneath it. Wood can be pressed in pretty easily. So it's soft, and that's what you're dealing with. Now, when in a regular shooting scenario, it shouldn't matter at all. Because it's aluminum, it will always flex back to its original position. Aluminum has a good memory for going back to its original position. If this were steel, and you went like that, the tail would probably just bend and then it would just stay bent. That's why aluminum is great. It's why aluminum gets used for firearm parts. It's also because it's more lightweight and it dissipates heat a lot better than steel. All right, so yeah, like I said, look down your scope, push here. If you noticed your aim is way off, what you can do is take your scope back off, tighten the front one, just a very slim amount. Try it again. Let's see. Still moves just a little bit. Now we're going to do the alternate. We're going to do the rear piece here. Tighten that just a smidge. I turned it the wrong way. Let's try that. Oh yeah. Not sure if you can see the light is where that set screw is. Pressing as hard as I can. It doesn't even lift like 0.5 millimeter, so there. There's your backup irons. You're out in the field or something, your scope breaks, and oh shit, can't use my Mosin anymore. Well, you can.